Today's I can statement is I can estimate the product of a decimal and a whole number. Our problem for today says a wedding planner needs to buy 16 pounds of sliced cheddar cheese. The slices of cheddar cheese cost $2.15 per pound. About how much will the cheese cost? So we're going to use our cubing strategy to start this off, and we're going to circle our key numbers. So here we have $2.15 and 16 are our two key numbers. Next, we are going to underline our question, and our question says, about how much will the cheese cost? Next, we box any keywords that we have. About is a very important keyword here. About tells me that I'm going to be estimating. So about is absolutely a keyword. I'm going to say per pound are keywords because that tells me that I'm going to be multiplying. Let's see, buy is kind of a keyword here. So we know that she's buying 16 pounds of sliced cheddar cheese and that they cost $2.15 per pound. So I need to estimate now to find my answer. When I'm looking at this to eliminate, so I'm going to solve for E, I'm going to eliminate anything that I don't need. I don't really need to know that she's a wedding planner. I just need to know somebody's buying the 16 pounds. And that's about it because a lot of this information here is pretty important for our problem. Alright, our last step is to solve. So here we have the problem that we're going to be doing. So we're going to be solving to find out about how much cheddar cheese or how much money it's going to cost for all this cheese. So she has 16 pounds and each pound is $2.15. Remember when we're estimating, there's two ways we can do this. We can use compatible numbers or we can use rounding. So we'll do these both. We'll do this both ways. So we're going to start with using rounding over here on our left side. So we're just going to label it so we know that this is using rounding. Over here we'll use compatible numbers. Okay, let's look at 16 first. So I'm going to round 16 to the nearest 10 because my 1 is in my tens place here. So I'm going to use 6 as my helper number. What would 16 round to? Go ahead and click submit when you're ready. Okay, we should have said 20. Remember our rule, 5 or more raise the score, 4 or less let it rest. Well, 6 is more than 5, so I'm going to raise the score, and my new number is going to be 20. Now let's look at our $2.15. 2 is in our ones place, so we need to look at our tenths place as our helper number. 1 tells me that I'm going to let it rest, so I'm going to keep my 2 the same. I'm not going to do anything to it, so I'm just going to do 20 times $2. And that is going to equal 40. So she will need about $40. It's my terrible dollar sign. She will need about $40 if we used rounding. You know what, I'm going to rewrite that because that just looks terrible. So we're going to type this out so it looks a little bit neater. Okay. We'll keep it in red. So we said 16 rounds to 20 times $2 equals $40. Okay, so that is if we were rounding. Now let's take a look over here and figure out what numbers we're going to use if we were to change them to compatible numbers. So remember that when you're using compatible numbers, we're all probably going to pick something similar, but we might pick some different numbers. So if I'm looking at 16, I could say, well, I know 15 is a good compatible number and it's easy to multiply. So I would use 15 as my compatible number. And then looking at $2.15, Well, I'm obviously going to keep it close to that, so I'm going to say 2 because that's another easy number to multiply. 15 times 2 is about $30. Right? The one thing about using compatible numbers in this case is that this is absolutely an underestimate. I went smaller than my original number for both 16 and $2.15. So if I were to tell this wedding planner that she needs about $30, she's definitely going to be short when she goes to the store. So be careful when you're solving word problems. Be careful with underestimates because you want to make sure that when you're dealing with money that you have enough money to actually make the purchase. So in this case, rounding might be our safest bet when estimating. But like I said, we all are going to get some different answers, but as long as you're around a good range, you'll be correct. Okay, I want you guys to practice this one. So you're going to estimate the product using rounding or compatible numbers. So it's your choice which one you want to use. So go ahead and solve this first one first. So 45 and 3/10 times 4. And click submit when you're ready. Okay, for this one, I'm going to say we could use compatible numbers. This might be a little bit easier. So 45 and 3/10, I would say a good compatible number for that one would be just 45. And then I look at my 4. I don't really feel like I need to change that. I could go up to 5, but 45 times 4 is an easy multiplication problem. Make sure that for this, if you did do this problem, you're lining it up correctly. So 45 times 4, I'm going to start in my ones place. 4 times 5 is going to be 20, so I write my 0, carry my 2. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. So we have 180 as my answer. Like I said, you could have used the number 5. You could have rounded 45 and 3/10 up to 50. So your numbers could be different than this, but about 180 would be an accurate answer. All right, go ahead and try solving this one, the second problem. 37 times 93 hundredths. Click submit when you're ready. Okay, so this one may have been a little easier. We might have all gotten similar answers. So 37, I could round it up if I wanted to do rounding and just round it up to 40. Multiplied by 93 hundredths. So my 9 tells me I'm going to raise the score. So I'm just going to raise that up to 1. 40 times 1 is 40. You also could have kept the 37 the same since you know that 93 hundredths is probably rounding up to 1. So any number times 1 is obviously an easy multiplication problem to solve. So like I said, you may not have gotten 40, but as long as you're in the area around that number, your answer is probably accurate. Great job today, guys.